Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Actors Area. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. So glad that you could join me today. So happy that you're tuning in on this awesome Monday morning. Before we get into anything else, I just want to take a moment right now to just ask you to basically just pray. Just pray for the people in Vegas that were caught up in that just catastrophe of events last night. And, I've been preaching this for some time. We have to come from a place of love. We have to find a way to move, live, and have our being from a place of love. Because if not, this is the type of stuff that happens. I posted something on my Facebook this morning discussing just about how people get so caught up in thinking that their opinions are the only opinions and their opinions are the only ones that can be correct. And they get tunnel vision. And I've never really understood why, other than it's some kind of emotional dysfunction. But to be in a place, right? To be in a place to where you are hell-bent on making sure that everybody sees things your way is not healthy. It's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. And so if that happens, we've got a serious issue. And I know not only for a fact, but the truth of the matter is people who do stuff like that guy or whoever it is did in Vegas last night are individuals that feel like they are not wrong by any measure. But not even a matter of them being wrong. It's just a matter of them, not being able to see things from somebody else's perspectives. And I'll say this last and we'll get right into our topic today. Being human is being able to have an opinion, but also to accept the opinion and differences of others freely and not feel like you've got to commit an act of crime, an act of hate towards somebody else who sees things differently than you do. That's this whole national anthem thing is ridiculous. It's just dividing America in such a ridiculous way because people can't come to a place to say, you know what, if you want to kneel for the national anthem, then that is your business. You do that, you take care of it, it's done, it's over, whatever. I'm going to do my thing. I feel like you shouldn't kneel, so I'm going to stand, and then that's it. It's over, it's done with, nothing else comes of it. Not threatening to burn somebody's house down or burning people's jerseys or, boycotting a certain league because, you feel like it's crazy. Yes, you can have an opinion. Yes, you can feel, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe, but you do not have the right to force anybody else to believe what you believe. That is insanity. And that needs to stop now before something worse happens. So, not to get on a soapbox or anything like that, but let's get into our topic of today, actors and the power of no. And this is something that I feel like personally will absolutely transform not only your career, but your life when you learn how to say no. See, what I find, especially in the actors that I've coached, and it's not their fault, it's just what they've been taught. They become slaves to these producers and these casting directors and these people that are making the decision. Not all, but there's a few out there who will take advantage of you in that regard. They become slaves to it, and then they just don't know how to say no. Like it comes to a point where they want to say no, and all of a sudden everybody is like acting crazy because, oh my God, this person just said no. This is just a matter of standing up for what you believe in. One thing I'll tell you as an actor that you will never, ever forget. It's not the biggest role. you ever booked. It's not, want to walk in the red carpet or anything like that. Yeah, those things are great. But one thing you will never forget in this industry, if you take the time to do it, that is taking the opportunity to say no when something doesn't feel vibrationally right. When something doesn't match up to your ethics or values, you do not have to do it. And if anybody says that you have to, you don't have to stand for that. Never sacrifice yourself for a job. I don't care how dire straits you're in as far as like how much money you might need or you're trying to pay. No, never sacrifice your ethics and your values, because if you choose not to, you're going to benefit in the end. Multiple times on set, I've been asked to do things that I felt like was just completely out, just craziness, like people. The thing you got to understand with people, and sometimes, not everybody, people with power will, or authority rather in this case, because that has nothing to do with power, but authority, they will ask you to do stuff that they wouldn't normally ask you to do if you were their friends or somebody just, that they just met. They would not do that. But they will ask you to go above and beyond something that you may not feel comfortable with. And I can honestly tell you, if it doesn't feel right in your gut and your gut starts to bubble up and you start to feel like you're getting a bit of a heart palpitation or something like that, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. You also don't have to be mean about it either. You can just come up and say, you know what? Here's what I feel. I'm feeling like this is not in my best interest. I respect you completely. I respect what you're trying to do, but I don't feel like I would be comfortable doing this, and I hope that you can respect that. And as an adult, if they can respect it, great. If not, we move on. We move on and we find something different. Like, one thing you got to realize, especially in the career of an actor, there's a lot of stuff that happens that we call things that happen within the moment, the heat of the moment. Like you may be shooting a scene and the director all of a sudden gets an idea about what he wants you to do or what he wants you to take part in. And he throws that at you and you just don't feel comfortable with it. I look at a lot of these castings on LA Casting, and some of the write-ups that they'll put up, you must be comfortable with this, you must be comfortable with that. I think to myself, well, what if I'm the best actor, for the gig, but I don't feel comfortable with that? Do I have a say-so? You bet you have a say-so. You always have a say-so. Nothing will happen unless you open your mouth and bring it to the table about how you feel in regards to something. And the reason that I feel like this brings so much power, people respect you when you say no. People make you a doormat when you say yes all the time. And they will continue just like little kids. If little kids understand that they can get you to say yes all the time, they will not let up. They will not let up. And then sometimes even when you say no, they still won't let up. But if they know they'll say yes. Have you ever seen a family where one parent is a lot more lenient than the other one? What's the kid going to do? The kid's going to play it to his advantage or her advantage against the parent that they know they're going to get a yes from. And so it's just a matter of being able to be stern, stick to your guns, and know that you are always in the right if you're doing things that are continually helping you to progress as a person first, as an actor second. I can't tell you how many famous actors and actresses I've talked to that have regretted some of the things that they've been asked to do by producers. And it just, they revisit the situation and then they say to themselves, my God, I just cannot believe that I did that I was, I was in that position to do that. Now looking back on it, I would have totally said no. I would have totally took a moment, thought about it in my trailer and said, no, I can't do this. This just doesn't feel right before committing. So all things aside, what this entire episode of this podcast is about is finding your strength within, finding your personal power that allows you to determine how the trajectory of your career is going to go. Now, we can't control everything, but we can definitely control how we're viewed and how we're pictured in not only the media, but to other casting directors and producers, right? We don't want them to see us being, Z when we've been pretty much working our tails off to be recognized as A the entire time, And I'm not saying you can't do something different that's out of your form. What I'm saying is stick to your guns. Stand for what you believe in. Stand for, what you know is going to help give you the best chance to be a working, successful actor. And you do that by knowing when to say no, whether it's to your agent, whether it's to your manager, whether it's to a fellow actor, whatever it is. Learn how to say no, because if you learn now, it'll become much easier in the future when it starts to surround bigger decisions, okay? So never underestimate the power of saying no as it relates to you as an actor. If you can do that, once again, you're moving on that right track to continue to help your career progress and move on that higher path that's going to not only bring success, but also bring fulfillment. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for your time. Take care.